whatever it's worth, right? Whoever sells it. Wrong. I'm Charlie. Welcome to Moving Home with Charlie, and thank you for coming.
Charlie Landing grew up in Sussex, is the founder of Best Agent and presenter of Moving Home with Charlie.
If you want to find one of these guys, look out for those compassionate professionals. All estate agents are not the same.
So Charlie, what would be your advice for people interested in buying new builds right now?
Don't overpay. Do buy, but don't overpay. That's why I say disregard the guff. Read into the numbers and look, and it's buried. The bad news is buried in the small print, okay?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Property Press Awards.
They may or may not be telling the truth, but you should form your own view. Get out and view, get out and view, get out and view. You cannot be in a position to make offers and have no offers accepted if you're not viewing. Just be out there viewing. Pay attention to the back of the class. If you've not been watching my videos, I did one just a couple of days ago. Disregard the guff, guys. Morning, everybody. Happy Friday, the 11th of August. Coming to you from a temporary location this week. I hope you're all well. Still as much as ever happening. In fact, far more than 5 facts out there from this week. But I'm just going to stick to the 5 that I think are the most important ones. Although, if you disagree with me and you think there's something I've missed out that's of bigger significance to the housing market, let me know. I mean, these aren't the only 5 by any means, right? But they're, in my view, they're the 5 most significant ones worth knowing about. So, quick sip of my coffee that's still too hot. And let's crack into them. So first of all, we have Persimmon. Half-year results for Persimmon, which is one of the country's biggest house builders. I've linked to all of these below, so you can go and read them in depth yourself if you want more information. But down here, I've just highlighted the key figures. They're comparing the first half of this year, 2023, with the first half of last year. New home completions are about 30% down on last year, okay? So 4,200 compared to 6,600 last year. Big drop in new home completions. New home average selling price is actually up £11,000. I'm amazed there aren't people, I'm amazed the guffers aren't out there going, house prices have risen £11,000. That's 4% in the last 12 months. But their average selling price is £11,000 higher than the first half of last year. Could be many reasons. They're selling bigger houses. Who knows? It might also be because they are successfully including a lot more incentives like cashback, which I know has been heavily used by new home builders, and upgrades. Because if you look, their underlying new house margin has dropped from 31% to 21%. So even though their selling price has gone up 4%, their profit margin has dropped by about a third. Anyway, that's Persimmon's half-year results. On to number 2, Halifax. So this, most of you will be aware of this. It came out on Tuesday this week. No big shocks or surprises here. The monthly change down 0.3%, annual change down 2.5%. So steady falls. It's the fourth consecutive month of falls from the Halifax. Always worth a look at that. Link is below. Go and have a look, see if there's any regional information that is interesting to you. Next one. I would say probably the biggest story of this week, and it is arguably a positive one because it's definitely an improvement in affordability. So a lot of the big names in mortgages cut their rates this week. Okay. It started off with I'll just read it to you. NatWest and Virgin Money have become the latest big lenders to slash rates on their fixed slash rates. That you love the drama, right? Conjures up images of someone in their office going, right, give me the rate. I'm going to slash it. Slash sounds really big. I mean, they are significant moves, but they are still, when you're too. I'll come on. Let's read it. Prompting claims that a full-scale home loans price war has broken out. Well, if there's a war, then you want some slashing, don't you? The moves came after it emerged on Wednesday that 4 of Britain's largest home loan providers were cutting the cost of their new fixed-rate deals, with Halifax reducing rates by up to 0.71 percentage points from Friday, and HSBC, Nationwide, and TSB making similar moves. Now, for context, This Is Money also covered this story. saying, have we turned the corner on mortgage misery? Banks launch price war by slashing rates. More slashers. The rate slashers are out. But this is what I want you to know, right? So these rates they're talking about are for borrowers with 40% equity, so 60% loan to value, which is not a lot of buyers, if we're honest, is it? And they cut. So imagine getting news like this, right? 2-year deals have been cut by up to 0.27 percentage points. Buyers will now pay 6.18%, but with a 20% deposit, so 80% loan to value. After these rates have been slashed, you're still paying 6.18%. So always quantify these headlines. Go and look at the actual numbers, because I'm not sure this constitutes slashing of rates. I think slashing rates would be like chopping them in half. That's a slash, isn't it? Maybe at least a third, but not what is effectively only a less than a 10% reduction in the cost of the interest cost there. Who knows? Let me know. I'm sure you will. You are very vocal guys. So on to the next point, the residential. So the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors did their residential monthly survey. And I really do urge any of you thinking of moving at the moment to take a look at this in detail, look at the regional changes. It will give you much more useful. I think this is actually the only useful regional. It is useful nationally as well, but it's very useful to see what's happening in the regions. They've got broken down graphs of lots of different things for all the regions. But the headlines, the prices in the last 3 months. So this is they do the last 3 months, the last month, and what they think is happening in the next 3 months. And in the last 3 months, you'll see that line there has now dipped to the lowest since 2009. And I suspect it hasn't finished. It'll stay down there for a while. It might even move more negative. So that's what the surveyors have seen in the last 3 months. And regionally, everywhere, the current month has got worse than the last 3 month average, except for the East Midlands, which is slightly less bad in the last 3 months, but still negative. And Scotland has got worse. And notably, Scotland's prices are now beginning to fall in the last month. Not in the last 3 months, but the last month. On balance, more surveyors are seeing falling prices than rising prices in Scotland. I know a lot of you watch from Scotland, so that's interesting. So this is the most negative they've been. Where's that other one? What their price expectations are. Yeah, here we are. So this graph here, not the dotted line, but the solid line, is the price expectations for the next 3 months. And they are back down to the most negative they've been since the pandemic spike. And if you ignore the pandemic, then we're going back again to 2009. All right. In the last month or two, they thought, oh, maybe it's not as bad as we thought. But yeah, it is. It's getting bad. And the same, the price expectations regionally for the next 3 months have all got worse, except for Northern Ireland, which is bucking the trend. But all other regions, the price expectations from the surveyors are on balance worse than they were a month ago. All right. So that was fact number 4. And on to fact number 5, which is the last one. Also, the RICS survey, but it is now the rental one. And I've included rentals this month because they are showing that tenant demand is getting back up. It's not quite as high as it was in 2021, but it's going back up. And on balance, every single region has seen an increase in tenant demand in the last 3 months. I wonder how much of this is down to people who are selling up, moving into rented. There's no way of knowing, but I wonder how much of that there is. But the price, this is the real headline here. The national rent expectations in the next 3 months, right, are the highest that they've ever been in the RICS history of this survey. So it goes back to 1999. The last time they were this high was just during the pandemic, but they are way, way higher and rising. This is not good news for tenant affordability. And again, regional expectations. I mean, Wales is showing the highest. Wales and West Midlands showing the highest balance of surveyors expecting rents to increase. So there we go, guys. Do we have any of you? I can't see the chat. It's not working. I hope that's been helpful. Have a great week. There's lots more to discuss. I'm in the middle of a move at the moment myself. I'm in between homes, so I'm a bit in limbo, which makes it harder to do videos. But there's lots. I wanted to go through the RICS survey in more detail and to discuss a lot more stuff. The ONS came out saying that Q2 economy GDP has surprised everyone by being slightly positive, 0.2% for the quarter. So that is better than expected economic news, certainly better than I expected as well. But it's worth looking at the details. I'd like to do that. If I can get the chance to grab Alex, get him on camera in the next few days, we might have a chance to go through some of that. Otherwise, guys, have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.